DNVR Broncos live, coming to you. Well, first of all, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Coming to you from Studio A, where the A stands for ask your lady how she's doing.
Ah.
You know, when we were in London, we got accused of wrecking sex lives. And I just don't want that. I don't want that on my resume. So, you know, if you need to like pause the show, turn on some tunes. Allie, do we have some tunes? What do we got there? Oh, that's not
it's not setting the mood.
Can't help us set the mood a little?
Wow.
Is that it? All right.
I honestly thought you were doing...
Turn the lights down, you know.
I thought you were going to ask your lady how you're doing after the way yesterday's show ended. Because you needed to ask your lady how she's doing after that.
Oh, yeah. Came back as always, you know.
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
All the fixins. Monday Night Football nuggets. You know, how could you be in a bad mood after that?
Chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yep. Especially with the way that game ended. That'll help.
Exactly.
I feel like maybe it's time for us to do our ASMR show. If this is like the kind of...
Oh,
might finally be that day.
That's
Whispers
true.
only.
Yes. We kind of had one in Indianapolis when Zach and I had to do a show from in the like hallway of the combine, and we felt really awkward like projecting at the levels that we normally do. So we were like, all right, guys, like DNVR Broncos podcast. So, like we were like half whispering. OGs will remember. So yeah, anyways, you know, the show's always going to be here.
The show's always going to be here. Maybe even in your bed with you.
I don't want the A to stand for abstinence.
Oh, wow. And not speaking of that at all, but we got a birthday shout out to give someone in the comments. Iheem G, I believe, coming in saying it's his 21st birthday. Now he can get down to the DNVR bar.
Wow.
Happy birthday. So I guess you can stop abstaining from alcohol now.
There you go. See you Sunday. We got a new brunch menu.
Ooh.
Maybe some mimosas.
There we go.
Let's go. It's gonna be a hell of a weekend for you.
I have a mic now, so watch what you're saying.
Oh, I'm glad we got all that in before.
Oh boy.
Before you
I
got a
was
mic.
trying to get the
Ryan,
mic
do you want to
going.
ask how your lady's doing?
No, I'm actually busy.
Okay,
We
there
ran
we
out of time for
go.
that bit.
On to Broncos?
Yes, exactly. Let's get to the Broncos. Unfortunate news, I guess, although maybe expected news coming out today.
Yep, very expected news. Lloyd Cushenberry placed on the injured reserve. Yesterday, we knew he was going to miss some time. He's really going to miss some time now. He's going to be out the next 4 games. It's disappointing, I think, is the right thing to say, because you feel bad for Lloyd. It's a groin injury that's going to hold him out for over a month because he actually suffered this injury against the Jaguars. But Graham Glasgow, the way he came in and played, if he plays like that, it's not really going to be a drop-off.
Yeah. Lloyd Cushenberry, as we called him out.
Yeah.
I actually think I was saying that wrong. It's more of a U, like Lloyd Cushenberry.
Lloyd Cushenberry.
Lloyd Cushenberry.
So you bury it.
Yeah. Unfortunate that, you know, he was the champion of the best British name, and now we're not even getting. We're still getting UK in Glasgow.
It's true.
But yeah, I mean, it's so weird because we've talked about Glasgow to center for how long has he been here? I don't know, since the day he got here.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny when it happens and then it works, and you're like, maybe you guys should have done this like 2 years ago, and maybe that's a little too quick to pass that sort of judgment. But it sucks for Lloyd. It kind of feels like it might be, I don't know. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. But it kind of feels like it might be the end of the road to me for Lloyd Cushenberry as the Broncos center.
Oh, but then we talk about, opening up more holes on the offensive line. Graham did restructure his contract, so it was a very affordable this year. Is he going to want that number to boost up? Does he want to hit free agency to try to get some of that money back? It's going to be interesting. But if Graham plays well, why ruin a good thing there if he struggles a little bit? Because we've seen really good play from Graham in the past, not at center, but at guard. And we've also seen some underwhelming play. So he's going to be able to show that he can be consistent now.
He belongs. Like, that's an NFL lineman. It might not necessarily be a great NFL lineman, but there's a reason he's still in the league at this point. And we're still learning about Lloyd Cushenberry. He's in his third year.
I think the learning has ended.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to that point. We are getting to that point. But that's why I think it would make sense to make this change permanent if things go well. Because you look at, so the bye week, that counts as the first week he doesn't play, right? Mm-hmm. So then after that, you have the Titans and Raiders and Panthers.
No, this week.
It doesn't count.
This week, correct. It does not count because they just placed him on it today.
Well, that's a huge L on their part, but I guess
yeah, it is.
Well, no reason to hesitate on that, in my opinion, especially considering what we just talked about, which is that you have a great option. It's not like you needed to hold out to hope that you could get him back in there as fast as you could.
So the first game he can be back for is week 14 against the Chiefs at home. He's going to miss the Titans game, Raiders game, Panthers game, and Ravens game.
You know what my biggest takeaway from this injury was when I heard when he could come back?
What?
Geez, the season is moving quickly.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes. Like, he's on IR and he can't come back till week 14.
We're halfway through.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of scary. Like,
yeah.
The season has just already, evaporated, and by the time he's back, you're in the final stretch.
And then you're either going to really need him if Graham's not playing well, or you're going to say, yeah, he's just our backup now.
If you wind up 3-1 in those 4 games, though, I don't think you can mess with anything.
No, you can't.
You have to kind of buy in and see if you can grind it out.
But also, I just don't think you should. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too tough on Lloyd here. I just don't think he's been good at all ever. And so, like, the best we've gotten from him is average. And whatever happens in this season, I just think that the Broncos need to go into next season with a new starting center, whether that's Graham Glasgow or someone else.
Potentially. And you look at Russell Wilson, and that can open a lot of doors. Does a veteran center want to come play with him? Does that mean that you can use a third-round pick on a rookie? Although Lloyd Cushenberry, a third-round pick, is you can do that. Whereas when we talked about Drew Lock and these young guys, we said you have to have a veteran center. You have to have an experienced center. Not necessarily the case anymore.
Yeah. I think it's important, though. I think, that's the anchor of your offensive line. And if you look around the league, a lot of the teams that I guess I'll just point to the Eagles as such a great example. Like, Jason Kelce in there just makes such a difference for that offensive line, and he makes such a difference for Jalen Hurts. Now, it's not that same young quarterback thing, but it just to have that anchor in the center of your offensive line, be a great player, is huge. I mean, Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday did for hey, just call up Jeff Saturday. He's taking random odd jobs right now.
But then look at Peyton Manning and look at the centers he did or didn't have when he was in Denver. Manny Ramirez, the baseball player,
how'd that work
was
out?
His center. It worked out fantastic. It was the most dynamic offense. Did they have a bad Super Bowl, a bad game? Yes, but even Jason Kelce has bad games here and there, just bad timing that happened in the Super Bowl. But my biggest concern of just saying, yeah, he's average at best, move on from him, because I agree. He's average at best. But moving on from average at best when you're going to need a right tackle, when you may need a left guard, when you may need a left tackle, and now to open that up at center as well, I'm just saying don't be so quick to just say average at best at one of the positions on the offensive line, kick him out the door. Now, I also think that Graham could be, and I'll even say he will be better than Cush at center.
My thing is never settle for average at best, because what we're actually saying is he's below average. He's not average. Average at best means the best he's played has been average, and all the rest you're getting is below average. So to me, you could replace him with anyone off the street and get similar play.
Well, then why haven't they? Then George Payton has,
because they're holding on to the idea that he's going to get better. He's going to live up to what you know.
But this is his third year in the league.
Right.
You can't be doing that anymore. Or that's an organizational failure.
So I think and maybe it is, but I think what happened is you had his first year, which was the Drew Lock year, right?
Yep.
The one where they're all in on Drew. So that whole thing kind of went awry when Drew got hurt. And the second year was kind of a mismatch of things. And so this year they thought, okay, well, maybe with Russ, that will elevate his play. As we know, we thought Russ was going to elevate everyone's play. He has not done that. And so now I think is when you get to the point where you're like, okay, even with a good quarterback, we're not getting good play out of Cush. Need to go elsewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, just you could continue to use that logic and say next year, if you want to give Cush the benefit of the doubt, which they have for 3 straight years now, then you say, okay, well, one more year in this system with Russ is when it's all going to click. And honestly, that's where we've kind of some people have got to that point of not just with Cush, but with this offense of, okay, next year, just naturally being in the second year of this offense, it's all going to be better. And that's just a scary road to go down, because I agree, Ryan, you can't just keep doing that with players, but when things are this bad, people hold on to things and hold out on hope of that.
I guess to illustrate my point, you played your backup guard in his position last week, and he looked better than what Cush has looked like. That illustrates my point that he's playing at a very below average level. You can bring in a replacement who can give you that level of play. The best thing I can say for Lloyd Cushenberry is he's young and cheap.
Yep. And I mean, he's solid. He's solid in pass protection. Those long-ass arms bail him out. Sometimes, like, what he's really bad at is getting to the next level and finding somebody to block and hitting him. And he doesn't, even when he's stable, he doesn't get much push. And you wonder if that's just part of him being 24. Like, if another year in the strength room is what it takes. And I'd say no. Say no. But that is kind of what you're banking on, is that he could just, I mean, you look at him and think, like, he should be able to push guys forward. Who knows?
Henry, you're going to post your midseason awards in the next day or two. Can we get your grade on Cush right now?
Midseason grades, right?
Oh, it's,
yes,
sorry,
midseason grades.
We're giving out some awards today.
Yes.
He got C- from me.
C-.
Below average.
There you go. I mean, right at
exactly,
average.
exactly.
Tiny bit below average.
Yep.
I just warn because you said you can get, you don't settle for that. Well, of course you don't. But you're also not going to have $10 million to give out to a center.
You don't need to.
No, but
I'll take like a 35-year-old who's played in the system.
I just don't think offensive linemen are so tough to find, though. Like, it's different than trying to find a receiver.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Is
exactly.
Like, it's not just as easy as getting upgrades and doing it on the cheap.
Every offensive line is bad. That's what you have to remember, is that everybody wants to get better and nobody can do it.
Right. It's a good point. So, Ryan.
But there's so much room for improvement at that specific position that I just think getting like when they signed Dotson?
Yeah, DeMar Dotson.
DeMar Dotson, like, get the DeMar Dotson of centers.
Yes, but again, the Broncos have tried to do that at right tackle for the past 6 years, and they've done it well twice.
They haven't.
So it's not the easiest thing, and you say that. Well, again, the Broncos have tried to do that, but you can get better at left guard for sure. You can get better at left tackle. Garrett Bowles, before he got injured, holding all the time, and right tackle you can get way better and way more consistent play. So that's just what I'm saying is it's not just Cush that's been bringing this offensive line down.
No, not at all.
But I mean, if you're going to replace Cushenberry, I mean, you probably have to keep Reisner.
Yeah.
Just because you have to go out and
agree.
extend Reisner. And if you get to choose one of those things, I'd say keep Cushenberry's cheap. Use that $8, $9, $10 million that Reisner's going to get on something else.
Man, we're going to have some great offseason discussions.
We sure are.
Terrible position they're in.
One person
being bad
that I know Ryan is not going to pick as the Broncos offensive MVP is Lloyd Cushenberry. Is that fair to say, Ryan?
Fair to say. MVP
crazy.
of the TikTok I made.
Wow. Yes, he was. And so let's give out offensive MVP, defensive MVP, offensive most disappointing, and defensive most disappointing. Let's start with offensive MVP because I think it is the Worst discussion to have.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the easiest, and I was like,
No, it's
I surely don't see an easy
that's
answer.
the reason why it's the worst discussion to have, because it should have been Russell Wilson coming into the season
With a
and
bullet.
Yes, and that is why the Broncos are 3-5, is because it's not. Now, not all on Russell Wilson, but a large majority of it is on Russell Wilson.
You could actually make a case that Russell Wilson is the Broncos' offensive MVP, and that is scary.
You
crazy.
can't. Is that
Because-
the argument you want to make?
No, but if you go and look at the games that they have won, each and every one of them was in large part because of something Russell Wilson did.
Yeah.
You could make the case that Lloyd Cushenberry has been their most valuable.
Yeah.
linebacker.
Oh, I love
You can make the case. You can make the
love
case.
it.
And Garrett Bowles hasn't played enough. Quinn Myers hasn't played enough.
Oh, you're saying offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman,
Oh,
yes.
okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes, yes.
okay.
So Dalton Reisner, it's like you probably take Reisner, but again, like you could make the case.
You could.
You could make the case.
You could. But what about
This is all so bad.
overall on offense? And that's why this is the worst conversation to have.
It is.
Because it's
Can we
also
go by
bad.
process of elimination of starters?
Let's go quick.
All right,
We got to
so
have this conversation 4 times.
we're turning turning away from Russell Wilson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
6 touchdowns. No, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 58% completion,
not
and a
good enough.
losing record.
All right, he's
it's
out.
none of the running backs, right?
So
I don't know.
who are you going to make a case for? Latavius Murray?
Nope.
He's been here 3 games.
Nope.
Melvin,
Nope.
tangibly. Javante, even though he's been gone.
Maybe.
No, he
Ugh.
wasn't even playing that well.
The Broncos are 2-1 when they had Javante Williams. Melvin Gordon has played 8 games for the Broncos. He has 264 rushing yards. Javante Williams played in 3.5 games and has 204 rushing yards. In less than half the games, the Broncos are 2-1. If the Broncos could win that game against the Raiders if Javante Williams stays healthy.
Okay.
I'm going to say no.
I'll say
Okay.
I'm willing to have him in the conversation, but he's not getting my vote.
Okay,
Like he
there
just
we
hasn't
go.
been around
in the
enough.
conversation.
Okay,
Hasn't been around enough.
Melvin's out.
Melvin's out.
Yes.
Okay. Cortland Sutton. Hot start. He has
I think
like 85 yards in the last
in
three
the
games.
conversation.
No,
In the
no,
conversation.
Not, you cannot play less than half a season.
Wait.
I guess half a season.
You just chose someone who's only been played 3 games.
Because they were winning in those. Because he was that important.
the Broncos were winning when Cortland Sutton was playing well.
No. Okay, no. The difference is because Javante Williams was injured the other games. Cortland Sutton has played in every single game so far,
Okay.
but has been non-existent.
I'm
mean-
cool with Court being out.
He's on pace for 993.
What's he done the past 4 games?
It's more
rough.
than Javante.
Not really. No,
He has like
because he's been
83
on the
yards.
field taking passes away.
Okay.
And missing blocks on screens.
Why does he do that?
I don't. He's
makes
so
no
big,
sense.
Just get in someone's way.
Honestly, the most disappointing one was the most recent one, because the first one it looked like he might have kind of tried. The other one he didn't try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just watched the guy go right
Yeah.
by, and it was
Really weird.
clearly his block.
Really weird shit.
It was really weird.
Okay. So I think it's down to 2 people, to be honest.
Jerry
I
Jeudy?
came into this knowing who mine was.
Jerry Jeudy and Greg Dulcich.
Yep, very well could be. But then you can't use that argument of he only played in half the season.
So are we
So if Greg
boiled?
Dulcich is in, Javante Williams is in.
Are our hands held to the fire? We have no choice but to choose Jerry Jeudy as the Broncos' offensive MVP this season?
That is who I came into this expecting to say. No, I mean, again, that's why I
Andrew
think
Beck
Cortland
in the
Sutton
comments?
has a case. Cortland Sutton has what? Does he have more catches? More catches and more yards than Jerry.
He does.
But I still go Jerry. But I do think it's fairly close, and Cortland's number 2 for me.
This is an awful conversation.
I know, it's
a
so fun.
it's a really bad conversation. In the past 5 games, Cortland Sutton has
Everyone who's up for MVP could also be up for most disappointing.
pretty much.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. In the past 5 games, Cortland Sutton has 176 receiving yards on 47% catch rate and only 1 touchdown. And that's taking into account he had a 50-yard game and a 74-yard game. You do the past 3 games, Cortland Sutton has 50 receiving yards.
Yep.
Total.
Oh, it's been terrible. But I mean,
doing
Jerry
out there?
disappeared for a couple weeks there toward the beginning
No,
too.
Everyone has.
No, not the beginning. At the beginning, he had
Like
the
weeks 2 and 3.
62-yard touchdown. Yeah. But I would have to go Jerry. And what's the most important thing that boils down to on offense is scoring. Jerry Jeudy has a team best 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
Which is very disappointing for the team, but a team best.
And it's a really big step in the right direction for him after having 0 last year.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
infinitely.
goodness.
One the
times
year
more.
before, 2 the year before, I think. The one against the Jets and the one against the Raiders in Week 17.
We
Yep.
do have to say though, week 2, Jerry had 3 catches for 11 yards. Also had a 1-yard run, which is actually kind of relevant when these numbers are so low. 2 catches, for 17 yards week 2.
And then, wait, you just said week 2 twice. Did you
Oh,
mean
for
3?
week 3, sorry.
Okay.
The next week, yeah. I mean,
So he's had
that's 28 in those 2 games.
But
he's
then
had
he's-
6 decent games.
But
Yep.
then I was gonna say, but then that's it. Is you average it out, and he's had 6 games of over 50 yards.
Does he have a 100-yard game?
He does. Week 1, 102, and then 2 weeks ago he had 96.
Sheesh, man.
So I mean, that's what we talk about when we talk about Cortland Sutton, not just this year but last year too. Is his bad games need to be that 50-yard mark. Now Jerry does have 2 games worse than that, but I like to see over the past 6 weeks that Jerry has averaged his bad games out, not even bad, but his average games out to 50 yards. That's
1,000-yard pace.
that's a good.
Ish.
He's not. Close.
Close.
Neither is Cortland though.
What, you
No,
need like
he's at
50.
993.
Exactly. So we're all going Jerry here.
We have no choice.
Which
We
is
have no
insane.
choice.
By the end of this year, it could absolutely be Greg Dulcich, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Sure
and it
is.
could also be Russell Wilson, and
You
it's
hope.
damn well better be.
You better hope it is. This conversation
Honestly,
better flip.
I think we dismissed Russ too much just based on expectations. Up against all of the other options, he's led 3 game-winning drives, and they've won 3 games.
He just hasn't been good, though.
Oh, I know, I know,
guess that is
but
true.
I'm
That
just
is
saying
true.
no one has.
That is true.
You want to know Russ's?
I'm not giving it to him. I'm just
No.
saying, like, as far as the conversation went, like,
Yeah.
probably had to be mentioned, and
You know-
that's just how bad things
You know
are.
Russ's QBR.
Gosh, I'll say 21.
Oh, okay. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
You will be.
It's 36,
Okay,
which is I actually don't know off
28th
the
in
top.
the NFL.
28th.
how
Fifth worst.
How are we here?
5th worst.
What happened?
He is
Been in some
19th
bad
in yards,
places.
though.
That is still really bad.
That's close to average.
No, that's that because the Broncos have been playing from behind. Like you've been in positions where you have to throw the ball, and
Yep.
only 19th. That's concerning.
And also quarterbacks who haven't played every game.
Let's get away from this conversation
All right.
and go to
Yep.
the defensive
Defensive MVP.
side
This is gonna be
of
fun.
the ball because there's some legitimate options here, but to me, there's
Yep.
one that is
Yes.
far and away better.
Yep.
To me,
Oi, oi, oi.
PS2, oi, oi, oi,
PS2,
oi, oi, oi.
I tried to get that going on the march to the stadium.
Yep.
Still hasn't really stuck.
Hasn't made it over the overseas yet.
No,
It hasn't
Okay.
really made it on over here either.
Yeah, it's true.
it hasn't made it anyway.
There hasn't been a home
Hasn't
game.
made
Really.
it
There's
in-
been one home game
Okay.
since we discovered that, though. To be fair to us,
Oh, and you didn't go,
Which game was that?
right?
it would have been
Jets
the
game?
most recent one.
Yeah.
Jets game.
Yeah.
No, it
So next
existed
time.
when I went to the Colts game. I
Oh,
believe.
did it? Okay, but then you didn't go to the Jets game.
No.
The
Raider
press
game.
box isn't open. Isn't an open air press box, so Hank and I can't get it going.
You could put it on a sign and hold it up to the
I'm
window.
sure that'll
and then
help.
use like a pen
in
to
the club
tell
section.
people when to go.
So to me, Pat Surtain, we haven't talked about him much this year because great cornerbacks you don't talk about much. The only thing he could get better at is picking the ball off, but he just really hasn't been giving the opportunity for that.
Yep.
But he has been so good where he just shuts down a side of a field, and he's done that against DK Metcalf, against Devontae Adams, against really good receivers where we don't even think about him anymore.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit disgusted at something that's happening nationwide, which is he's so good that people are already bored of it, and they're like, Sauce Gardner, have you seen this guy?
Sauce is not as good.
No, he's not. And someone, I think today, it was a Jets fan, so like, God bless their soul, but he said something along the lines of, when has a young corner been this good, this fast as Sauce Gardner? And it's like,
Is this just someone on Twitter?
yeah.
Ryan, you know better than that.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's just this is the way that people are thinking. Like, it's the new thing is always what's interesting to people. No one's talking about Pat Surtain anymore.
I actually disagree. I think Pat Surtain has got the praise he deserves, specifically from people who know it best.
That's
the
fair.
Former cornerbacks and the really good cornerbacks that are playing in the NFL, especially because Broncos have had so many primetime games. When the Broncos play a primetime game, corners are tweeting like crazy about how good Pat
They are.
Surtain is, and I do think that at the end of the year, he is going to be recognized as an All-Pro because I think people are noticing it that much.
I just mean like the overall discussion has already moved on from him.
It's just kind of like he's that good that we
Yeah,
don't have to
it's
talk
the
about
Chris
him.
Harris Jr. thing.
And there's
When
no
Chris
reason to talk about the Broncos. And if you are talking about the Broncos, you're not talking about him. If
fair.
the Broncos had the record the Jets had, Pat Surtain will be everywhere.
To the Jets' credit, they're the Jets first of all. They play in New York, and they've had some great moments.
Yeah,
The Broncos have had none.
crazy enough. Yeah, it's certainly true. So are you guys all going PS2?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Easy.
so then
It's kind of. I don't even think it's uncontested.
Yep.
I agree, but number 2 is very interesting.
I've got 2 for it. Do you have it for 2?
I have a couple that can be in
Okay.
line, but really, yeah, I have a final 2, and one of them sad.
Bradley Chubb.
Bradley
Yep.
Chubb is one of them. Bradley Chubb has the most forced fumbles on the Broncos. He has tied with Draymond Jones for the most sacks, and he has the most quarterback hits. It's pretty damn good right there.
Yep. Thank you for the first round pick. Good luck.
Who's second for you? Who's also is
Draymond.
Yeah, and Draymond.
Yep.
He's also there for me.
Congratulations on getting paid soon.
How about him not getting paid during the bye week? Should we read into that?
I don't think so.
Because last year, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick both got paid on the bye week. I think we read into that a little bit.
I
And-
I think that
No, I'm starting to get there.
I think that he is very money motivated.
Exactly.
Yep. And
That's
I
what I'm
think-
reading into it.
Yep.
I think that there could be a thing where he's saying, I'm going to keep betting on myself.
Yep.
Or there could be a thing where the Broncos say, why would we stop? He's playing on a contract here, and he's playing out of his mind. Just let him keep doing that.
Well, if the Broncos do that, though, his price is only going to go up. Now,
It could,
it may go up.
or it could go down.
Or he tails off.
Yeah, but I still think at 5.5 sacks where he's at right now, some team is going to say, aka the Jacksonville Jaguars with Malik Jackson, will say, yeah, we don't really care about the second half of the season. We care about the first half and the talent and potential there.
Fair
I
enough.
think it's more so Draymond saying, oh, you want to give me $15 million a year? Nah, I'm worth $20 million a year. Bradley Chubb, different position, just got paid $22 million a year. I think I'm worth more about 17 to 20. I think, like you said, Ryan, Draymond Jones, very money motivated. Not a bad thing. I just think that's from comments he's made in the past, point to that. I think he wants to not take any discounts.
I would
You
agree.
shouldn't. Never take a discount. Especially in the NFL. There's no reason you should ever take a discount. And I believe that very strongly. Now,
Especially-
it's cool when guys do,
Right.
but they shouldn't.
Well, especially when it's a first contract, too. You know,
Yes.
when other guys come to play with a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady to try to get that ring, typically they're doing it on their third contract when they've already got the big payment. Draymond Jones, he's made a lot of money for a person in his career so far, but for a football player that's really good, he's made no money so far being a former third-round pick.
There are too many stories of guys who did not secure the bag, and then it all fell apart from underneath them. So secure the bag as soon as you can and get as much as you can.
During the bye week.
Well,
Exactly.
I would
you can.
honestly, there's a case to be made for that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
There's too many games. If I were his friend or one of his family members, I would be saying, dude, there's too many games left to get hurt. Just take the massive bag that they're offering.
I was going to say, especially when you're talking about, potentially $15 million as a low ball or $13 million a year as a low ball. But if he thinks he can get $20 million, he's saying, F that. That's a 35% pay cut.
Yep.
Yep.
Speaking of securing the bag, I did not win the Powerball. Sorry to report. Yeah. But I did make about 20% of my original investment back on, hitting a couple numbers here and there.
Okay.
So
there you
it wasn't
go.
all lost.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So rich man we're sitting with.
So, next time it gets to a ridiculous number, I'll have a little stash put away for a reinvestment.
That is smart. Or
Keep doing it till I lose all my money.
Or you can use that stash over at DraftKings
Yes.
Sportsbook where you
I'm
can
much more successful there than I am with lottery tickets.
Ryan,
believe it.
if you were new into DraftKings Sportsbook, you could use $5 maybe that you made. Did you make $5?
Yeah.
Fair to say?
A couple more.
Yeah, a couple more. You can use that, place a $5 money line bet on any NBA team. If they win, $200 in your account and free bets right then and there. That's a pretty good return, right?
Yeah, it's a great return.
Can you guys do that off the top of your head?
Nope.
Nope.
It's a lot. It's a big return.
You can't either.
Yeah, no. I don't want to give the math away.
It'd be like 40 times.
I'm gonna.
It's in the upper quartile of the upper
Yeah.
quartile.
Oh man, what a press conference yesterday.
I took an
never-
IQ test today.
Oh, did you?
Yes, it cost like $10, but it was totally worth it.
I think the fact that you paid $10
yep.
instantly gives you a
Yep.
zero.
I think you're
no, H gave me a number, and I'm very proud.
You want to say it?
No, I don't think so. I think I want to let
that's
people
fair.
speculate.
That's fair. That sounds like a Jim Irsay thing.
Never allow Jim Irsay in front of a camera with a microphone.
Oh my goodness, because I bet over at DraftKings Sportsbook after they had fired Frank, you probably could have got
The field.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say if you could have wrote in Jeff Saturday, you would have got incredible odds. But yeah, the field would have
Maybe
been
like plus
a great one
2,000
there.
on the field or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. You would have been a rich person. And DraftKings has so many things that you can bet on, including one that we're going to talk about probably tomorrow about how the Broncos can beat the Titans because it is a juicy one. So head over to DraftKings Sportsbook, download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and use promo code DNVR when you sign up. That is code DNVR over at DraftKings Sportsbook. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700 and make sure to see show notes in the detail or for details.
You know where else you could use that stash?
Where?
Breckenridge Brewery. Just get a whole bunch of beers.
Yes.
I wonder how many beers you could buy with like, what was it? It was like $2 billion.
But if you took the lump sum, it only ended up being $434 million.
It's crazy.
After taxes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I feel bad for those people.
Yeah.
they got
I mean,
scammed.
honestly, though, 1.6 billion in taxes is actually sickening.
Wow. That is pretty crazy.
Well, no, because the lump sum brings it down, so it's probably like $1 billion in taxes. That's so.
Oh,
messed up.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think they'll be all right, but
Again, I'm not feeling too bad for them.
but they said like so and so becomes the first ever billionaire from the lottery, and it's like no, they didn't.
No.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
They wouldn't.
It would probably have to be like 10 billion.
It would, yes.
Jeez.
I see the thing about buying beers with all that money is that I'm sure Breckenridge would give you a discount. Like it's not like you're going in and just buying like draft beer, paying
You should
draft
just
beer
like
price.
buy a portion of the brewery.
True.
You
I
could buy
wonder
the whole
if
brewery.
Rudo will get a little deal from Breckenridge Brewery since he's bringing the beer for our DNVR Friendsgiving.
Oh,
And of course, you know we'll be drinking that Breck Brew.
DNVR Friendsgiving is legendary.
It is
Coming up. We're in
legendary.
November.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, it's
Insane.
next week.
Yeah.
It's next
Oh,
week.
it's next
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Holy cow.
I don't know how it came up so fast.
I know. And the World Cup starts just a few days after that.
Wow.
This is how
I'm
my
down on the
schedule
World Cup
works.
today. I was all excited yesterday. I've kind of come back to earth a bit.
You
Welcome.
got it too
Welcome to
excited
that
too
party.
fast.
I did. Yeah. Maybe tomorrow I'll get the energy back up.
Ask your lady how she's doing.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Breckenridge Brewery is awesome, though. Breckenridge Brewery is awesome. You should buy all their beers and drink them. They're the best beers. And if you support Breckenridge, you support us. So we appreciate that.
Will Breck Brew help or hurt with that?
Depends.
Depends.
Wow. There's a line.
If you're wearing Depends, that probably won't.
Oh,
Oh
jeez.
my good.
And finally, us.
Us?
Come by the DNVR bar this Sunday. Broncos, Titans.
Brunch?
And we got brunch.
Oh.
And Allie, none of us have experienced a brunch yet because we were. Oh, you have? Okay. Review?
Very good. Chicken and waffles, very good.
I was so excited for
Yes.
that. All right, that's what I want.
Chicken and waffles is such a great combination.
Which is weird.
I know.
It is weird.
It's kind
It's
of
sweet and savory.
some of the best chicken and waffles you ever had were in Nashville, so it's kind of fitting.
Yep.
That would
Sad
make
we
sense.
aren't getting them there.
Oh, yeah. It's very
Wait,
true.
did you have chicken and waffles in Belgium?
We did have a waffle
No.
Waffle.
sandwich.
Because that would have been
Yeah.
incredible. Nashville versus Belgium.
They didn't
Right?
have
Chicken
chicken
better
waffles.
chicken, better waffles. What's more
Yes.
important? It would be the chicken, in my opinion.
They didn't have chicken and waffles. It's not a popular thing. over
What we
there.
did have there though, I had a sandwich that was like ham, Gruyere, and some sauce that I would say was similar to Caesar. In between two Belgian waffles.
Oh, man.
It was
You do it with your
so
hands?
good. Yeah. I actually did a little bit of
You
both.
use fork and
Okay.
knife.
Because the sauce started to be a little bit messy, so then I
Yeah.
went to the fork. It was actually one of the better sandwiches I've had. It was
Wow. So are you a savory type of waffle guy?
so good. Well, they are. And what's really interesting about it is it's not a breakfast item there. It's kind of like a lunch or like a snack or even dessert.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
even-
that'd be the savory part.
the waffle places don't even open till like 10:30 or noon. Which is really interesting.
But
So we woke
most-
up the first day, we're like, let's go get waffles for breakfast. Wasn't an option.
But most places have
Wow.
both the savory and
Yeah.
the sweet.
Yeah.
And they're
I preferred
both
the sweet.
incredible.
Yeah, I
Yes.
as well.
Bananas and
Absolutely.
chocolate on a Belgian waffle.
You're killing me.
Sorry.
That sounds amazing.
Anyways, come by, have our brunch, get the chicken and waffles here. and hang out with us and watch the Broncos beat the Titans.
There we go. Watch them beat the Titans. These over or underwhelming players aren't going to help with that, though. Who's been the Broncos' most underwhelming player on defense?
Okay.
Oh, this one's pretty easy for me.
Oh.
Jonas Griffith.
Ah.
There was so much hype, and not only has he not lived up to the hype, he just hasn't been good at all.
Isn't it wild how we just haven't talked about him for a month because there was so much hype around him? And then it was like, oh, he's struggling. Oh, he's really struggling. And now it's like, that's just kind of what you expect. Like now he should
be benched.
You're looking at Alex Singleton and Josie Jewell.
Yeah, and you got I actually didn't realize this, but you got a little bit of that in the Jacksonville game.
You did.
And it's certainly the move this week against Derrick Henry. And I just think it's the move the rest of the season. If I could choose a most impressive or most surprising player on defense, it would be Alex Singleton. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised because all he's done in his career is just make tackles, and that's what he's doing for the Broncos. But Jonas Griffith's been a massive disappointment. He has all the physical tools, and it's just not coming together for him from he's not able to translate his speed into playing fast.
I had him as my Alex Singleton as my dark horse for most valuable on defense. Now, wasn't going to win it, but look, he hasn't even started half the games, and he has the most tackles on the team.
He's so awesome. I love watching him play.
He can just play.
Yeah.
It's one of those guys where you're like, how is he getting signed for $1 million as a free agent, really, to be a backup special teams guy? When he's on the field, he just plays.
I love him.
No, it's not game-changing plays, but he's extremely solid, someone you can really count on.
I want to watch his high school film or something. I bet it would be so awesome.
Oh my gosh, that'd be insane. Boy, I mean, I think you nailed it with Jonas Griffith. Someone that I guess I would put up there just because there's not really many other guys that you could put up there. Nick Bonito, the Broncos' first pick in the draft this year. I didn't expect him to come out and lead the league in sacks or lead the Broncos in sacks. I didn't expect him to be a great player, but he's really been non-existent for the most part. Outside of one or two plays here or there, he was the first pick in your draft, in a second-round pick too. So just pretty disappointing there.
Yep. I'd throw Randy Gregory in, and it's only because of the injury. But if we're talking what has been disappointing, Randy Gregory's not being around has been part of it.
I would actually say I was going to say he, to me, has been more impressive than disappointing because my expectations were when he plays, how good is he going to be? And he has exceeded my expectations when he's played. But I did come into the season with expectations of being he's probably playing half the games so far. Right about there.
He was so good in the games that he played that I'm chomping at the bit for him to get back. I'm man, that was exciting to watch Randy Gregory play. He was that good.
Fortunately, I think we're still going to be without him for a couple of weeks.
That's a bummer.
Someone in the comment section, Jose, says Uwazurike. To me, 4th round pick. Sure, I think he's been a little bit disappointing, but I don't think the most disappointing on defense.
He played a decent amount against the Colts, was it?
I believe so.
And then you just haven't really heard or seen much of him since.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be many options for disappointing on defense because the defense has been otherworldly.
Yeah, which is really, really impressive.
Yep, and it's the only reason why there's really any conversation like we had yesterday of the Broncos having somewhat of a path back to the playoffs is because I think they can compete with any team in the league. I'll just leave that. They compete with any team in the league because of that defense.
Broncos right now have the second best scoring defense in the NFL, giving up 16.5 points per game. I believe only the Bills are better right now, giving up 15.
If Russ, really just Russ, but the offense, but I'll just leave it at Russ. I think it's that simple. If Russ even plays average the rest of the way, they're going to have a chance to make some big upsets.
Of course, I agree with you. All right, now let's keep talking about Russ and talk about the most disappointing, underwhelming player on offense.
He's the easy answer.
To me, it's him, yes.
It has to be.
It has to be.
But everyone's been disappointing. Literally everyone.
There are so many options.
You could even say Jerry Jeudy, who we gave offensive MVP, has been disappointing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Alberto doing almost nothing. Melvin with those fumbles. You expect fumbles, but you don't expect that. That's been remarkably disappointing.
Extremely disappointing that you have at least 2 losses on the shoulders of
That's
one person.
disappointing.
You can pretty much go through the entire offensive line.
You sure can.
And say disappointing. But it comes to Russell Wilson. He's played in 7 games, and he has 6 passing touchdowns.
Yeah,
6.
Yeah. Only one of these guys is getting paid, what, $40 million?
Right.
At least on average.
Right.
And so that has to be the most disappointing. You
think
brought
so.
him in to save the franchise, and he hasn't even moved the needle forward even one tick.
No, right now he would be on pace for what, 12, 13 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Yeah, it's incredibly disappointing. You hope that he can turn it around. I still believe he can. The arm talent is certainly still there. You don't see anything missing there. I think there is a big issue in terms of understanding the offense, or I don't know if the word is understanding, but feeling the offense. Feeling like it's second nature to him. It is far from second nature to him at this point. I think that's maybe the biggest issue, and you just have to hope that time will heal that. So yeah, he's been the most disappointing. I also think the response in the treatment of him is also extremely disappointing.
Maybe
more nationally, well, and locally.
But if we're saying he's the most disappointing player on offense, then wouldn't that response have some backing to it?
Criticism is fine.
Oh, okay. You're
yeah.
talking about the extra stuff. Well,
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do
Especially with what happened over the bye week and how he got absolutely crushed for that.
So dumb.
And,
One of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It was.
And then there was like this weird twisting of what he tweeted, which was just keep working, into he tweeted that from the beach in Cabo. It's like the pictures of him in Cabo came out shortly after he tweeted that, but those two things are not what they were made to be, in my opinion. You can keep working from Cabo.
It just
Especially him, yeah.
And we don't need to nitpick all of that because it's stupid. What it is to me is it's just Russell Wilson and his social team just not being in tune, and that's it. Just don't tweet that if then there's a chance that you're gonna get a picture caught of you on the beach. It's just
No,
he's been out of touch over the past 3 months.
You also just know what's going to happen if you post a picture of you on a beach.
He didn't post it though.
But I mean,
TMZ
like,
posted
But
it.
you
whoever
are Russell
posted
Wilson,
it, like,
and you know that you are going to
Yeah.
get identified.
it's like
But
that's not
it's
the big
all-
problem, but
it's-
that is.
It's a part of the greater problem, which is trying to magnifying glass nitpick every single thing about Russell Wilson. I guarantee you, with 100% certainty, he was still working in Cobb.
Oh, definitely.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So he literally could have tweeted that from, a field where he was working that morning.
Sure, he could have.
oh, yeah.
He has committed no crime in this case.
No, but also, Ryan, if you're on your bye week and you're on vacation, that's okay.
Totally.
That is okay.
Totally.
But maybe just take a step back from everything.
I get what you're saying. It's just the reaction was so asinine that I
Yes.
have to come out on Russ's side of this.
And that's why I don't
Yes.
think any of us were against him
No.
for this.
Yeah.
No.
No. I mean,
Was it a dumb decision to post a picture of you in Cabo?
he didn't
Yeah.
post.
Well, whoever posted it under his name, like it still comes out from him. You
Wait,
know?
did it though?
Oh, did it?
I don't
Was
think
it
he
Sierra
posted
who did?
anything.
I don't know. I didn't care
Okay.
about
The
it.
picture
Exactly.
that went viral and everyone freaked out about was from a paparazzi.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But also, people tweet
Well, then
dumb
he gets no
stuff. Like he tweeted, keep work. But people are just tweet to tweet.
Yes, people do that, but the thing is Russ has done that, once a week since signing with the team, where it's just like, okay, let's just take a little step back.
Yes.
And I'm saying that's my harshest critique of this. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to nitpick. I'm just saying that's the only part where I could see it being like, okay, let's just not do that anymore.
Yeah.
The response
we're
was
honestly
dumb, but also crazy predictable.
there's so much nuance. We have too much nuance to even really have this conversation. We can agree on everything, right? The
Yes.
response to him was
Stupid.
absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
Yes.
And he shouldn't. There should have just been a little bit more awareness on the part of
Yeah.
him and his team.
Yeah.
You knew it was going to
what
happen.
could happen.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That's it.
Those of us who have spent our lives on social media know You always have to think twice about what could happen before you press send on anything.
Yep, it's very true. That is very true. So anyone else on that I guess everyone on offense.
Everyone.
The most disappointing.
Everyone.
Montreal offensively, maybe you want a little more to throw him in there. Like if
That
we
fits
really
in the
want
everyone category.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you could
yeah.
really just run through.
Brandon Johnson, sure.
Yeah.
Throw him in.
No, pick just about anybody. I do think like Russell Wilson, number one. Melvin literally could not hold down the starting job when we thought he was like, yeah, he's a 1A sort of back or 1B,
Yeah,
whatever you want to call
It's
it.
election day. Go vote. He
Yes,
was running
absolutely.
unopposed and he lost the election.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, I mean, I
Way to
don't
tie
think
that in with the election.
I don't think Russell Wilson's like on another page when we're talking about
Got beat by
who's disappointing.
write-in votes.
Like, yes.
One more fumble, and he could be inactive for 3 guys that have been signed off practice squads in the past month. Well, and I guess they traded for Chase Edmonds, to be fair.
Yeah.
Alberto 50 yards and he's been healthy.
Okay, so
That's disappointing.
my disappointment with Alberto is more on the coaching staff. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
saying he's some incredible player, but I just think you can do better than not playing him at all.
Is Saubert that much worse of a receiver?
Yes.
See, I'm just not there. Like
When was the last time we saw Saubert?
it's
sighting?
true. But again, like reps have gone down for him too. But I'm totally out on Alberto.
I mean, is it-
I guess
I just don't think he has a
So,
place.
so my thought is that the emergence of Greg Dulcich should actually help Alberto because I want to see them both on the field at the same time. Sure, you're telegraphing path, but
So why
you're
not just have
you're in
KJ on instead?
Because I think you can create different sorts of mismatches.
I just don't know about that. Like I just don't think Alberto gets open against guys. Like so he what
I
you
don't
said
know.
before.
I've seen
like,
Drew Lock light up Alberto for a whole game before.
and see, that's the thing though. Is like, so that's he picked up whatever 350 yards that whole season, and that's when they were willing to let him block. So you had to at least think like this could be a run. You'd also blow right by him if it was. But now they're unwilling to block with him, which I think is the right call. Like I just think he's unplayable.
What about
Fair
just
enough.
when you're gonna tip it, and that it's a pass? You're in the gun, empty. So it's only Russ, so there's no question of if you're passing it. So you're already tipping the scales there. And you have Cortland, KJ, Jerry, Albert, and Greg.
Sure.
That's gotta be an advantageous position to put Albert in, right?
Yeah, the problem with going 5 wide in this offense is Russell Wilson doesn't throw short passes.
There's that.
And the more that you spread it out, the
There's
less
that.
time you have.
It's very true.
He would be in that 5 though, because there's no 4th receiver you'd put in front of him.
You could do Montreal if you wanted to.
I just want to
I
force
wouldn't.
the defense to put their
Corner on him.
less capable tight end coverer on Alberto and see what happens.
But see, like it's covering good tight ends that's hard. Like if you just want to throw a corner on Alberto, you're going to be just fine.
No,
You don't
he can
think so?
block corners.
I don't know that he can. I don't know that he can. Like again, like what was it? It was I think it was either Houston or San Francisco. It was the San Francisco game. He's on the field, 24 plays. He's asked to block twice, both passing plays, both sacks he gave up.
Well, I'm not asking him to pass block.
Fair, but I mean, change it for a tackle for loss. That like he cannot block anybody.
If you line him up, let's say you have Chase Edmonds to the right of Russell Wilson and Alberto
wow.
like a little bit into the slot here, and you line up a corner there, I'm handing the ball off to Chase Edmonds and expecting him to be able to make that block.
We're just so many years into this. I'm not doing it. It's like the Lloyd Cushenberry thing. It's like we see it over and over and over again.
Fair enough. I don't know. I just feel like they don't have enough playmakers on offense to sit down one who I've seen actually make plays with my own eyes and not play him at all.
You could have made that case before the season started if they have so many playmakers, but we just haven't seen them yet.
They don't have it.
Yeah.
They don't have any.
No.
Jerry Jeudy, I'll call him a playmaker, and Cortland can make plays, and so can KJ. But I guess the point is they don't have any that you say like, you need to play. This guy's got you.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen that. Definitely don't have the consistency there. But if you want to see these playmakers or single playmaker in person, go to Game Time. Click on the link in our description, whether you're watching on podcast or listening on podcast, watching on YouTube, and it'll take you right to all of the Broncos games, including the next one coming up in Denver against the Raiders. This could be a really fun game. If the Broncos beat the Titans this week, you get the Raiders coming into town. Josh McDaniels, his first game in Denver.
Gotta go to that one.
And the Raiders are they have more talent than their record would indicate. So it could probably going to be a close, fun, exciting game and a massive game for the Broncos, especially if they beat the Titans. So check out Game Time. They're going to give you the best deals. They have the flash deals that pop up when you go there. And then they've also, I just love the interface. It shows you exactly what the tickets are going to look like. So check them out over at Game Time and make sure to click the link in our description.
Also, if you're trying to watch the American Raptors, you can do that for free by going to the games. You can also stream their matches online, which is a lot of fun. What is this? This is Saturday. They've got a big match. They're playing the FECO Rugby Toucans.
Now, where is that?
They're in Colombia. They're going down to Colombia for that game.
The country?
The country. Yeah, and I'd imagine the Colombian rugby team is about as good as an American team, right?
You know, I don't know.
No idea.
I'd believe it if somebody said it.
If you would have given me 3 guesses, I would have gone Columbia, Missouri, Columbia, South Carolina, and then Columbia, the country.
But when they are back, you can get free tickets to watch them here too. All you got to do is go to AmericanRaptors.com. They're a lot of fun, and it's also fun to keep up with Colton Strickler and our DNVR rugby coverage.
That's dope that they're going to Columbia, though.
It is.
They've done some really cool trips.
Yeah.
Colton, he just gets to go and see him posting pictures. And I'm like, wow,
so cool.
That's sick.
That really is cool. All right, before we hop into the comment section, we were so eager to talk about the league. We talked about it a lot yesterday, but guys, let's go around the league and bring up a little this league.
You want to start us?
Sure. Actually, you start us.
Oh, I mean, this league, I just love that there's always someone around a corner to say something really dumb.
Oh.
Maybe I shouldn't love that, but hearing the quote from Jim Irsay about the upper quartile of the upper quartile just made me so happy.
Oh,
like, I'm like, God, this somehow someone's always there to say something that makes me happy. Speaking of things like that, Mike McDaniel, it's kind of like I'm the what's the Wolverine meme holding the picture, like looking at him crying.
Yeah.
His little thing with Justin Fields is just so good. I love him so much for that. And did you see his quote about it today or yesterday? When they asked him what'd you say to him, and he's like, I told him to stop, and it was really frustrating because he didn't listen at all.
He didn't take my coaching.
Yeah, he didn't take the coaching. I've said it before, but this is a 1 year where I think actually if I was the Denver Broncos GM, just flew me in for the offseason, they would be better off. Now, you can't say that every year. I've had some terrible takes, but I was pretty good with them this year. Mike McDaniel, Tariq Woolen, Jelani Woods, like all the guys that I liked turned out to be amazing.
Well, if
I just wish I could remember all the other names that were thrown around.
Right.
Malik Willis.
We could find them. Malik.
Kyler. Big Kyler.
Kyler, yep. He was good on Kyler.
That has nothing to do with this year. I said I've had some terrible takes.
You were not in this offseason?
Yeah.
Okay.
You liked him this. You said he was worth the contract.
Oh, well, he still might be.
But we don't. I'm not going to try to bash you for all of your moves. But since we're going around the league talking about good head coaching candidates, because Ryan, you were all over him.
Yep.
My guy.
I think I was the only person.
My guy, Kevin O'Connell.
Baby. Also doing a great job.
7-1 with Kirk Cousins, and he's taking his shirt off.
He got Kirk Cousins to be cool for a moment.
Inspiring Adam Schefter to take his shirt off. Did you guys watch the Manning cast
That
last
was
night?
crazy, the fact that Adam Schefter did that.
God.
I was not
watch
expecting
it, but I was
that.
chatting with friends. I didn't hear
And
it.
also watching the Nuggets game.
Did you see Kirk Cousins on it?
Yes.
Because you didn't have to watch it you didn't have to listen to see. When they first brought him up right before a commercial break, Kirk is sitting on a couch like this in the middle wearing like a sweater, and he's just sitting like offset, like hands in his lap, like kind of just a soft smile
He's
on.
about to do his like senior picks.
Yes, I was like, is this really a quarterback in the NFL that's 7-1 right now? But Kevin O'Connell's got him rolling.
I thought he did look cool in that moment. Not in like an actually cool way, but in like he like gets that he's kind of, dweeby, and like so he's leaning into it and like having fun with the guys.
And like a Peyton Manning when he put on the chains after a game. Now obviously Peyton
way cooler.
Yes,
Peyton
naturally way
dancing,
cooler.
Because they showed that clip of Peyton dancing. That was amazing.
But I mean, Peyton, when he did that, it was kind of in a similar vein of like, I'm not cool enough in this way to be wearing chains, but I'm gonna do it to be one of the guys and to have fun with them. And that Kirk did do that like that.
Yeah, I thought it was like it's the highest Kirk Cousins have ever ranked for me.
And 7-1, they are running away with that division. But
that schedule's about to get tough. The easy games are done.
I mean, they've already played the Eagles. That was their only loss of the season.
Yep.
They're
exactly,
on a
they lost.
6-game winning streak
Also,
right now.
Bills, Cowboys, Patriots, Jets, Lions, Colts. I guess that's not terrible.
On
This next couple weeks.
the Nuggets podcast, they call this male form corner. Like, I should have known that Kirk Cousins was in really good shape, but I was actually impressed. Like, I thought maybe a little more dad bod, less like ripped.
Yeah, but he's kind of a tiny guy. You know?
He's like standard quarterback size.
When I think of Kirk, I think of like on the smaller side.
He's a little skinny.
A little bit. Yeah.
He's
Which
got
helps.
some of those skinny muscles, exactly. Yeah, things pop a little more.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Speaking, okay, my going around the league.
Also, one more thing.
Yeah.
Adam Schefter, I'm just impressed that he was willing to do that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I was like, wow. He said yes to that. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
I wonder if it was his idea.
I would believe it. I bet it was.
That makes it less
That's
impressive.
what I thought.
Yep.
I thought it was.
That's
his
why
idea.
that was
So
kinda where mine
that's-
was coming
Yeah,
from.
that's kind of where I took it.
But I don't know. What he's got to be in his 50s.
Yeah, probably 50.
If you're in your 50s, you're willing to take your shirt off on national TV, whether it's your idea or not. Good on you.
It
There you go.
is impressive. The NFC East, or no, the Easts are certainly not the least. In the NFC East and the AFC East, two of maybe the worst divisions in the NFL coming into this year. There's, 8 teams? Guess how many teams are below 500? Of 8.
None. Wait,
One.
Commanders are 4-4.
What's your
Patriots
answer?
they lost. There's one. Patriots are under, right?
Incorrect. There is one. Only one, but it's the Commanders. They're 4 and 5
they lost
right
this-
now.
of
The
course.
Patriots are 5 and 4. The Dolphins are
they
6
won.
and 3. The Jets are 6 and 3, coming off a win against the Bills, who are 6 and 2. And then in the other East, you have Philadelphia, obviously 8 and 0. Dallas 6 and 2. The Giants 6 and 2, and the Commanders 4 and 5. These were supposed to be like the two worst divisions in the NFL. So bad, so easy. And then you see Daniel Jones all of a sudden look like a good quarterback. You have the Jets beat the Bills. The Patriots started off tough, but now they're coming back. It's just incredible and just really points to this NFL this year of just anything can happen. I mean, when the Jets, what were they, a 12-point underdog against the Bills? When they
14,
beat
I
the
think.
Bills? 14? Are you kidding me? It's it just shows how crazy the league is this year.
It reminds me a lot of before the season when Ryan kept saying it's the best division in the history of football. The AFC West is. And I said, shouldn't we watch them play first?
Yep.
The answer was no.
The answer was no. You know, sometimes you just got to lay it out there. But remember Mike McDaniel?
Yep, you were right about that one, weren't you? There we
Tariq
go.
Woolen? Imagine him next to Pat Surtain.
Oh, man. Speaking of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That's
they
a this
had-
league if it weren't just so shitty for us.
Yeah, they had the AFC, or no, they had the Rookie of the Month on offense and the Rookie of the Month on defense.
Hat tip to the GM.
And then you know who is the favorite
Schneider?
to be the coach of the year right now?
Pete Carroll. It's got to
Pete
be.
Carroll. You know who went from not even listed to being an MVP, now I believe in the top 10, if not top 5?
Gino.
Geno frickin'
goodness.
Smith.
What's so crazy about Gino is like he did some things in college that were legitimately insane, and then just like came into the NFL and was nothing and
Couldn't do anything with the Bills.
Yep.
So everybody's like, oh, you can't do anything with the Bills are terrible.
And then he
Nobody
couldn't do
can
anything with the Jets.
Bills. Yeah.
Which again, same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
it was the Jets, then Bills.
bounces around, and like now he looks kind of like what everyone expected him to be coming out, which is it's just crazy. Like it doesn't. He's playing like so clean and normal. I don't know. It's like the first week it was like okay, that was fluky.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like he just keeps doing it over
Yep.
and over again. Like
Time to bring back Brock Osweiler. That's what I'm hearing.
he's still got it.
At what point, if you're
What
the
about
Seahawks?
EJ Manuel?
Oh, wow. At what point, if you're the Seahawks, do you say he's our guy for the long term, sign him up?
Never.
You have to.
No.
He's gonna be their quarterback next year.
It's Case
If they-
Keenum.
if
It's
they
a
make
Case
the playoffs.
Keenum scenario all over again.
If Case Keenum had stayed with the Vikings, we'd have been all right.
Who'd have been better?
It would have been better
Yeah.
for the Broncos.
If you can get
Yeah,
Geno
well, that's
and he's
very
cheap,
true.
like
But that's
He's
the thing.
not
He's not
cheap.
going to be cheap. Will you pay?
I mean-
3-year, $100 million contract,
no,
2
I wouldn't
years
do that.
guaranteed.
I wouldn't do that. Make it 60 and I'm in.
Yeah, so Gino wasn't with the Bills. He was with the Jets.
Here's
I thought
what
it was Bills too. I must have been an
EJ
idiot.
Manuel is the Bills.
Yes.
He was
Probably who
definitely-
you're
yes.
talking about or
Maybe.
thinking about.
Same guy.
What could be the saving grace for the Seahawks is if they don't want to get attached to Geno long term, is the Broncos draft pick just getting worse and worse to where they can get a quarterback.
True.
Yep, and now I actually liked the 49ers. Now I have to root against them every week.
Yes, you do. Yes, you certainly do.
And they just had a new injury to Eric Armstead.
They are getting a lot of guys back this week, though, I believe. I think Nick
'Cause they have
Bosa
the
is
bye
going to
week.
be back. Yeah, they're getting a ton of guys back, and they
Well-
play the Chargers Sunday Night Football in San Francisco.
Win-win.
Oh, yeah, it is. Or
Wow.
lose.
No, it's a win-win.
Wait, who do the Broncos want in that game? Chargers
The
are 5
turf.
and 3. Wow. Wow. After everything
Wow.
that's happened with turf over the last couple of days, that's what you say? Jeez.
Oh, I'll probably get killed for
You're
that.
hoping for some LA doctors out there too.
No, the Meteor? I don't know.
Oh my god.
You definitely want
That's
the
even worse.
Niners.
You do want the Niners.
It's funny because if I would have said the Meteor, everyone would be like, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, whatever. yeah.
The turf is like actually kind of messed up.
Yeah, you're hoping for guys to get injured. Is
That
what,
did not say
quote,
that.
Quote from
I
Ryan.
want them to
Koenigsberg.
trip a lot.
Oh, okay. You want him to Eric Decker it then?
Yes.
Okay. You could have said Eric Decker and not gone to something that indicates serious injuries that hurt a lot of people and a lot of fan
See, you're
bases.
putting
and
words in my mouth.
Make people's careers get ruined.
You're putting
Ryan
words in my mouth. I
Koenigsberg,
never said that.
November 8th, 2023.
Anyways, should we hop into the comments?
yes.
I did just look. If the 49ers win, there's a 9% chance the Broncos make the playoffs. Chargers win, 8%.
Oh.
And I'm sure, like, if we were talking like 60s, there's more of like a 10-point swing or something. But
I just said, I have to root against the Niners every week. I will never root for the Chargers.
No.
So,
Well, so then Ryan, this game is actually kind of interesting because you're either cheering for this year for the Broncos or the future of the Broncos.
yeah, or you just like have morals.
No. At some point, you have to cheer for what's best for the team.
Well,
So,
then
like,
it's definitely the pick.
well, then you're giving up on this year. Have you
I'm not
given up
giving
on this year?
anything.
Because this year, you want
It's
the
a
49ers
1%
to
difference.
yeah, if the Broncos win their next 3 games, it's 29% if the Niners win, 26% if the Chargers win.
win. Man,
So it just doesn't matter.
Those
I mean,
statistics
3 points,
may be right, but if the Broncos win this week and the Chargers lose, the Broncos are only 1 game back of the Chargers. And right now, the Chargers are in the last place, playoff spot right now. So the Broncos will be right there.
It
Yep.
would be nice. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, do you want the Chargers to lose?
For this year, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it.
And just for life.
Because I feel like
I'm
the
tired of-
Niners are making the playoffs anyway. You know,
Chargers aren't
so like
supposed
it's
to
about
get
what they do in
breaks.
there.
The Chargers aren't supposed to get breaks. They've gotten 2 this year. It pisses me off.
Oh, the Chargers don't really get breaks, though.
I know. And they
Yeah.
got 2 this year.
Oh, the other one's a missed field goal?
The missed field goal and
The fumble.
worst fumble I've ever seen.
Yeah.
South
Man.
of Leon Lett.
If that fumble doesn't happen, we're probably talking about the Broncos being 3-4-1 and the Chargers being
Oh,
4-3-1.
Wait, what fumble are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Montreal fumble. What are
No,
you talking
I'm
about?
talking
This
about.
week.
Oh, this week. Yeah.
There's another break for the goddamn Chargers. Gosh.
Okay, let's hop into the comment section. First one coming in from Micah Pexa says, wanted to wait until everyone was back to post this, but really fantastic meeting all 3 of you in London last week. All 3 of you guys were super friendly and approachable. It was nice to meet you all in person after 4 years of listening. The pep rally and the tailgate were amazing, and it was so cool to meet Broncos fans there from around the world. The win against the Jags just capped off a truly incredible few days over there. Thanks for helping to make it a special one, guys. And right back at you, Micah Pexa. Thank you for making it a special one. Loved meeting you. Loved meeting everyone. And as Micah Pexa said, we're all approachable. Nice guys. So if you ever see us out at the bar anywhere, in Denver, in DC, in London, reach out.
Absolutely. Please do. And it was great meeting Micah, like a real OG.
Yep.
Everyone remembers when he did the Appalachian Trail?
Yep.
Appalachian Trail?
Yeah, just roll through it.
I think it's Appalachian.
Oh,
Appalachian.
Appalachian felt
Appalachian.
more correct to me.
The A Trail.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, great to meet you, Micah.
Next one from Nash Bronco says, pretty disappointing you guys won't be making the trip. I will definitely be DMing RK for the tailgate hookup. I even found a restaurant here that has quality green chili.
I got to confirm that.
I was going to say, do you trust that it's quality?
You have to, like, send it to me because I'm not going to eat it when I go to Nashville.
Send, like, the actual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I go to Nashville, like we did last time,
All we
I'm
eat
eating
is
hot chicken for
hot
every
chicken.
meal.
Every
or
meal.
barbecue.
Or we did have one very good barbecue meal.
Man, that sounds so good right now.
I know. I'm actually so sad about it.
He says this game is so winnable. The Titans defense is good, not great, and they don't have any wide receivers, so I'm not that scared of Tannehill. Besides Russ, what player has to have the best game of their career to win this one? I vote Baron Browning if he plays and Casa Bonita if he doesn't.
No one has to have the best game of their career for the Broncos to win this.
True.
But if Greg Dulcich has the best game of his career, I think it'll go a long way.
Well, I mean,
if Russell Wilson has the best game of his career, they're going to win.
I'm looking at two guys.
Oh, but he said besides Russ.
I'm looking at two guys.
I'm taking Dulcich.
And I do think they may have to have one of the best games of their career. You know, just one guy, DJ Jones.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense.
Need to stuff it. Need to absolutely do everything that I was going to say Draymond Jones as well, but Draymond just a little bit more of a pass rusher.
Yeah.
So DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
I mean, Melvin has a 196-yard game against the Titans. If he has the
what
best
year
game,
was that?
2016, pretty recent. I was a freshman in college. No, sophomore in college.
Broncos were the defending Super Bowl champions.
They were. But yeah, I mean, 196. If Melvin has the best game of his career, I think he outdoes Derrick Henry and the Broncos win.
Wow.
I don't think he's going to get the opportunity to put up 196, though.
No.
He'll have to have 2 carries of 98 yards each.
Casa
I
Bonita,
think he's
by the
gonna
way,
get
I
3
saw
touches.
someone in London who had a jersey, a custom jersey that said Casa
No
Bonita.
way. Oh,
Wow.
my gosh. Was it a family member?
I don't think so.
Yeah, actually, that one wouldn't be family.
Yeah, it'd be a
No,
weird thing.
that'd be Denver. Yep.
Yes.
Next one's from the Count, who says, great to have you all gathered together for a pod again yesterday, though it was pretty heavy on football talk, to be honest.
Sorry.
Let's dive into your grades for London. Food.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'd go B.
Yeah, I think I would go
Personally.
B too.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I was gonna go B plus, and my only negatives are that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's just a thing that exists. All of the food has like a little bit of an Indian food taste to it. The Indian food was incredible, but like I had Taco Bell, and it tasted a little bit like Indian food.
It has to be the spice.
There's some spice that they
Yes.
use when they're trying to make things spicy, which doesn't make it spicy at all. Which
I
just
thought that's
adds
what you were
spice
gonna
to
say.
it. So that and then the fact that there's everything that I had, anything that said it was spicy, it wasn't. So that was a knock for me.
Wow.
I came back and just have been eating so much spicy food. Also, random thing, kind of related. On the plane, I ordered on the plane back. There was like chicken or pasta, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I ordered the chicken, and it was like some sort of chicken curry,
Okay.
green curry,
It was
delicious.
Good. It was good.
There was this little red pepper on it,
Yes.
and I was like, "No, there's no way this could be hot."
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
And I ate it, and anyone
Ryan
who
was
knows me knows
shook.
my
I bet you lost it. Yeah.
my spice tolerance is as high as it really can be for like a normal person. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, if
He
another
was
person on this flight that
uncomfortable.
isn't me eats this, or just like a person with low heat tolerance eats this, they are going to be crying.
wow.
Like it hit me at like maybe a 9 in terms of how hot it was.
Wow.
Ryan's like, if you were to have eaten this, you
It
would
have
be
ruined,
like crying.
it could have ruined someone's day.
Would have vomited,
easily.
yeah.
That's so dangerous on a plane.
that's what-
too.
That's what Ryan kept
I was like,
saying.
there's no way they would
Right,
just
right,
give
right.
this out to a bunch of people
Right.
if it's that hot. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
There was like a little salad on the side with like some mozzarella balls on it.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah, yeah.
crushing those, trying
Yeah.
to get it to calm down.
Or the ice cream. Yeah, no,
I just
Ryan
crushed
was
mine
like
up.
uncomfortably.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
So
was.
spread it all out. Occasionally get like a seed and it'd be just like, oh my God, this is painful.
Wow.
But no, that was the way to do
I
it.
just ate it all in one bite.
I went with the other meal. I don't think it was pasta though on ours.
It was like
It
ravioli.
was like a
Oh,
vegetable
was it?
lasagna.
It was
maybe?
no. It was
There were 3 on ours.
It wasn't quinoa, but
Oh,
it was
it was
another
a buttery.
grain.
Oh, butter bean
Yeah.
I
masala.
had that one. I had that one.
Not too good. Really bad.
I had one bite of my chicken curry and I was like, when did they just made airplane food good again? They didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, coming on the way
Yeah, that
over
was
there,
good.
my meal was really good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Like for years, like up until like the early 2000s, plain food was good.
And then it went
Yes.
bad.
And then it went to like
Yeah.
inedible.
Yeah.
And then they just stopped giving it entirely.
yeah.
And now it's back.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Big time
Man,
back. All
even
right.
plain food's making me hungry.
Also,
right now.
Melvin, that 196-yard game, 65 receiving yards.
Oh my gosh. So 260, 250, 260.
Jeez.
That's
All
a big
purpose.
one. Yeah.
Grade the people A+.
A+.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Nice.
food grade, I'll give it like I'll give it B+. I had the steak and ale pie the first night, and
Really
it was
good.
really good, and that carries the rest
The
of it.
fish and chips is the last like true
Oh, the fish and chip makes
meal
it
I
a
had, and it
plus-
was
B+
so
for
good.
me.
Like I can't believe that I'm craving it, and it's messed up because
Yeah.
it's gonna be a long time before I have it.
We didn't get to eat at that same place the second night, which was my game
Oh,
plan, was to
yeah,
get
me
there the
too.
second night.
Yeah.
And so when
But
I
everyone
had
said
fish and
don't get it
chips
in
later,
London. They do it like they do in America.
that was nothing like America.
It was
That
nothing
was
like
not like America at all.
So I posted that because I got
Yeah.
it there, and I thought it was like crazy.
Your
and-
piece
and-
of fish was
Yeah, I
like
know.
Yeah.
I know. And people, all the locals said like, no, you have to get a fish and chip place where it's gonna be so
Yeah.
much better. And
That's
I
where
thought,
I went, and I
I
was
thought
like,
it was
eh.
good. It didn't blow my mind
Okay.
away, but maybe it's because it wasn't from the right place. But
Yeah.
what did blow my mind away was the presentation.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
Just a
impressive.
fish.
Just a fish, yeah.
And that's how it was at the place we went to, except you just got it on like a little boat, and
Pour the
I
vinegar on
I
there.
put so much vinegar on there, and then I went back and got more.
Yeah.
All right.
I was disappointed overall.
Rank the sites. You know, I'm not a big sites guy in general, in terms of like seeing touristy things.
Yeah.
That's
And-
all I'm interested in.
I know.
Yeah, I'm a big
Yeah,
size
you woke
guy.
up early to go do that.
Oh, yeah.
And all of the ones that I saw were like really awesome, and I didn't realize that I really like seeing super old stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a terrible time to figure that out now that you're back.
Well, no, I
Oh,
got
you
to
did that?
enjoy it.
Okay.
Well, when
Um,
we were in Belgium, we
yeah.
went and like Ryan usually says he
Okay.
doesn't like museums or anything like that, and we
don't.
really saw a lot of great artwork and
Quick.
When's the last time
Belgium.
you'd gone to a museum?
the museum.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Oh.
And when I didn't like that
See,
one, I
no,
was like,
that's
there's
terrible,
no
though.
way I could like any
See, like,
museum.
I have
Yeah,
no
that's
interest in
bad.
that one. Yeah.
no, you liked
Yeah.
the museum. The museum, which
but
is
that wasn't the last one
closed
I've been
now
to.
in
The
DC,
museum was really cool.
unfortunately.
Yeah, museums are good. But that's not the point.
Depending.
There's
The
so much
sites,
reading. That's
Tower-
the hardest
Yeah.
part.
Tower of London's incredible.
Yeah.
I know, we
It's so
didn't
cool.
get to go.
Like, it's all the suits of armor like the King Henry VIII was wearing. I've said that like 6 times on this podcast by now, but it's incredible. Like, from the 1500s, and they just keep that.
Seeing old stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah, you should come with.
I would say
I wasn't invited.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Whoops.
wasn't excited either.
Whoops.
You
I
just
would-
would wake up early and leave. So
I would say sites are a B for me, and the only reason why not an A is because the biggest iconic sites there may be like some of the most viewed things that you've seen as a kid growing up, and just because they're that popular, where it's not like the biggest shock. Whereas if you go to Bruges or something and you don't see things all the time, then you're like, oh my gosh, stuff is so cool. Where going there, you're like, wow, I'm seeing this in person for the first time, but I've seen it so many times
Yeah.
before.
Fair enough. That's actually the reaction I had because when we were in Bruges, we weren't even on like trying to sightsee.
Right.
But we just stumbled upon a cathedral and we're like, let's walk in.
Yeah.
We walked in and it happened to be that in that cathedral they had the only Michelangelo statue that left Italy.
Wow.
And it was bought by this super rich guy from Bruges, and he was like, he just wanted it.
he gave it to the church.
And then he donated it to this church and was like, I'll donate this to you guys under the conditions that it stays here forever and my family gets to be buried under it.
Wow.
And so they did
So
it.
that was a huge. Henry's
That's a good
looking
deal.
confused.
That's a good
That
deal.
was a big thing. Like there was a lot of tombs there, and a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of people, a lot of artists, like
They would
gave
hire
their
artists to
all.
like decorate their tomb because they thought like if their tomb was prettier, then they would have a better chance of getting into heaven. So anyways,
Or
then
just less likely to be forgotten.
then Napoleon
True.
stole it
What a dick.
from the church.
Wow.
So then they had to get it back, got it back from him. Then Hitler stole it.
Oh, jeez.
They had to get it back from him, and it was back.
Assholes.
So, like, I'm just looking at this thing. I'm like, think about all the
Really are
all
bad
the
guys.
things this thing has been through.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no one tries to steal
To
it
then
again.
go right back there again.
Yeah,
Yep.
right where it belongs.
Pretty
Back
cool.
home.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
What you're saying though, Zach, where it's like you've seen it all before.
Yep.
That's what Buckingham Palace was. We walk and it's like, oh, it's there. It is.
Right.
But then when you go around it and you see like all the grounds, and you're just like, oh my goodness, they just have a massive amount of land. Like they're just running around in there doing whatever they want inside that fence. Like the king might just be on the other side of that fence, just going for a stroll.
I love that they call him KC3.
Yep.
I'm watching The Crown, so I've been telling Ryan just so much history on
Oh wow.
I'm watching
everything.
the Leeds show on Amazon Prime.
Wow.
Jared here in the comments said museums are good. Come teach a guest lecture in my class,
Yes.
Hank. You are an alum. I'll let my students know you'll be here on
Yes.
Thursday.
See, wouldn't that be fun if I go back to teach classes on art?
Wow, that would be something.
History.
I would not have guessed that ever.
I would trust anything Henry tells me about history.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's all right.
Vibes ranking. So wait, I never gave my ranking. A, which is not what I
Oh.
expected. And all the sites,
yeah.
like the river was beautiful. The London Eye is actually really cool. Like you wouldn't expect to like look at a Ferris wheel. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like, that's sick. But I did. So anyways, sites were an A for me.
Yeah, I'll give it an A.
Vibes A plus 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 plus
Yeah,
plus
they were
plus plus.
all good vibes all the way through.
Yep.
Yep.
There were never bad vibes. There were never bad vibes.
No?
I can think of one time, but
I
that's
can
it.
think of one time also.
Oh
Do I know
God,
this
what is
time?
that bad?
The one time I'm thinking about we had spoken about. We had a nice little gossip corner.
Oh, boy.
I don't remember either.
No idea.
Marissa was car sick at the time. No, wait, no, it was
Wait.
the next day.
I don't remember. I
That
think
was a
we're
different
thinking
time.
of different. There must have been two times.
Oh
we're on
my
the bus for that
gosh.
one.
Wow.
There was a second bad vibes time. Now I think this is the real bad one.
Wow.
On the bus, remember?
No.
Anyways,
Oh, we were on the way back. Oh my goodness.
okay. Drinks. Again, it's gonna be an A plus for me.
They love gin
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, those were good, but the low carbonated beer, I would just want that. Why haven't we brought that over?
Oh,
It doesn't have to be all beer. I just want it for one.
There's
like
a
one
reason.
beer at the DNVR bar we should have a cask ale on tap.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. But some people don't like not very cold, non-carbonated beer.
See, I actually
That's fine.
got into that.
but I do.
You do.
I got into it. And it might have just been because I was there. I might try
I
it here and
think
just
so.
be like,
yeah, I think if it
probably.
was here, then you wouldn't
Like,
be going
oh, this
for
is
that.
terrible.
What
I'm
was
gonna
nice
warn this
about
guy.
it- What was nice about it though is that like sure it wasn't cold, but then even when it like you didn't drink it as fast, it was still was good no matter what time. Like if you chugged it,
That
it
is
was
true.
fine,
Yeah, it
and
was
then
more
if you
crushable,
waited
that's
for
for
like
sure.
over
That is
an
true.
hour, it still was fine.
Right.
But I'll also say, like, that's the kind of stuff that I don't care about.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to go see the old stuff in the museums. I have no interest in going to a British club. Like, the pubs are
I wanted
actually
to go to that
a part of
Taylor Swift
exploring
one.
it, though.
That thing goes hard.
I missed
what?
that. I totally
There's a
missed
Taylor
that.
Swift club in London where like all they do is just play Taylor Swift, but
Like,
only people
full
who love
blast.
Taylor Swift go to it.
Yeah,
so
'cause it'd
everyone
be
just
awful.
goes crazy.
Could
It's
you imagine? Like,
incredible.
weren't we there when her new album came out, or it
Yes.
was like just a
She
couple
was
days
in
later?
London.
She was in London
She
as well.
performed at one of the
Wow,
concerts.
We missed out.
Yeah,
know.
we missed out.
Yeah.
Kylie asked. She was like, "Maybe we should all go to this."
Yeah,
and
she
we
made a
didn't.
surprise appearance at the Bon Iver
And she
concert.
made a surprise appearance.
Taylor Swift did,
yeah.
Yes.
That combo would
In
not
London.
be...
but not when
For
you were
me.
there.
No, that was a different concert.
Oh, that was a
we
different
went
con. Oh, wow.
to. Yeah, I mean, I just like being around people who really love a certain thing. It's like sports.
That would have been wild.
Imagine you just go there for like 2 hours, though. It's only Taylor Swift.
I like Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
I'd lose
I could get down for that.
AJ was
Really.
just talking about us doing the reunion when we all went to the Taylor Swift.
That
concert.
was fun.
See?
Yeah, think
But-
of that.
But that kind of thing is fun. Like, it was good, but also it was good that there were massive snakes coming up out of the ground, and there was that sort of thing going on too. Like, just
That's probably
listening
what
to the
it is
music
at
in
a
the
club
club.
too. Henry, do you know
There
what
are no way-
clubs are? Clubs
They're
are like
very
the most
performative.
Yes, they have the most. It's
I've
all
never
about
been to a
like
club, that's
touching
true.
every part of every sense.
Really?
Essentially, yes.
See, I really just don't think I'd
Especially in
like
Europe.
that place.
At least in Prague, clubs were nuts.
All right, so
I'm
Henry
just out
needs a
on-
water bottle.
I don't
and
like
needs
clubs
to be
in
taken to a
general.
club.
I don't either. But that one sounds like it's fun.
That's
and
the
I've seen
one.
videos from it, and
The
I'm like,
Taylor
that
Swift
looks.
one's the one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if there's one good club out there, it'd be the Taylor Swift one. That's what you're thinking.
And I wouldn't even consider myself like a diehard Taylor Swift fan, but
Neither would I.
She has like hundreds of
Bangers.
hits.
She's got
Huh.
great hits.
I don't know about that.
And I don't know. Like I said, like you know when you're going there that it's just like going to a Broncos game. You know that everyone loves the Broncos when you go there. So it's fun because you're just around a ton of people who are really excited to be there.
I don't know. But it's kind of like my thing. It's like
Anyways.
soccer, where it's like, but I guess you guys enjoyed the soccer game.
I don't
What
know.
else do I
You were
not
a
like?
big soccer fan yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Okay. Welcome
Yeah,
back.
we have to
Welcome
break the
back
news
to
to
the
Dre.
club.
I've kind of gotten over it.
All right, the count got like 20 minutes on his question, and there's still more, but we're gonna move on so we can.
Yeah.
We actually
no,
have.
wait. What are the other ones? We can fly through.
No, they were football related.
Oh, well, he was the one complaining about us talking about football
I
too
know.
much.
We do have 2 super chats, so we want to make sure we get to those.
Okay.
So first one's from Nick, who says Kush has been consistently bottom 5 center. He is not average at best. He's below average at best. We need a vet next year. Even vets are cheap. I was the hardest on him, and he says I wasn't hard enough.
Even vets are cheap. I mean, if you want to, good players are not necessarily
Good
cheap,
linemen are
though.
tough to find.
Yeah.
Good linemen tough to find.
Yes, but decent old linemen can be had.
Well, if Russ has got to play better and become that attraction that we thought he was going to be for people in free agency.
Yep.
I'm talking DeMar Dotson level player.
Okay, that's
and so you got Billy Turner, you got Cam Fleming, you got wasn't there another Tom Compton?
Yeah, I mean those are the people that you're talking about.
And it's like, Tom Compton been hurt the whole time. That's what happens half the time you sign one of those guys.
Billy Turner,
also. Him in particular, yes. Cam Fleming, like, sure.
I don't want any more depressing offensive line talk.
No, well, that's just what offensive line talk is.
I know.
There's only one Quentin Nelson.
Next one, and he's having a bad year. If Broncos do make the playoffs, I think we have an advantage with Russ. Knowing
how clutch Russ
knowing how clutch Russ
Very
was
sunny
in the
here.
playoffs with Seattle, what chance do you give if we make it this year with our defense? It's a totally different game in the playoffs. The defense would make a huge difference.
Definitely.
But it all comes down to, in the world where the Broncos make the playoffs, Russ is playing way better. So they have a great chance in the playoffs.
Yep. They'd be on a 7-3 or 7-2 run probably.
Man, not to be too realistic here, but Russ hasn't been great in the playoffs since the Super Bowls. Well, Russ has done a fantastic job making the playoffs every year, but I don't think they've made it out of the divisional round since the Super Bowls.
Right.
So you're right. It would be the defense that would help propel in that case. I don't think that's necessarily like a Russ magic thing. Russ magic is in the fourth quarter when he leads comebacks, regardless of where it is. But that's where he's great, is the fourth quarter, not necessarily like Mr. Clutch in playoffs.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to be thinking about this in year one with Russ, but you would be trying to replicate the Peyton Manning 2015 Super Bowl. The defense carries you, the quarterback makes a couple good reads, a couple good plays, and gets you over the hump.
And then just look at when the Seattle Seahawks made the Super Bowl. It's exactly the same thing. And when they won the Super Bowl, the exact same thing as 2015.
Yes.
We'll test the theory against the Chiefs, but I do think that defense can beat anybody. That's when we'll know for sure if that's true, but I think that defense can beat anybody.
They can put the team in a position to win.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Broncos defense can beat anybody.
This defense?
They can put the team in a position to beat anyone. It's whether or not the offense takes that position and runs with it.
Guys, the Broncos just traded who we just said was their runner-up for MVP on defense.
That is
so
true.
The defense is going to take a hit, and I am adjusting my expectations to that a little bit. Like, they're still going to be very good. Top 10 certainly, I think, it is in their realm, but they're the second-best defense right now. I'm expecting a fall-off because of the trade.
We'll see.
Yep.
It's hard to say. I'm actually not, but just because they've done such a good job of replacing anyone who's been injured.
But who? What?
Justin Simmons went out. They were fine.
But what?
He also is not.
Randy
been that
Gregory
good.
went out. They were fine.
What
like you could just see
quarterbacks-
Justin Simmons could just get better because he's not been all
What
that great.
quarterbacks have the Broncos played? They've played Geno Smith, Davis Mills, Jimmy Garoppolo making his first start, Derek Carr, Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. Coming up, they've got Ryan Tannehill, not that good.
Hopefully
Derek Carr,
more
who they've
close.
already played. I guess Panthers aren't very good. And then you have Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes twice. And
So is Justin Herbert no longer in that conversation?
with Patrick Mahomes, no. Certainly not. No, he's fallen off.
Good.
Patrick Mahomes has
he's
his own
still-
conversation.
He's still very good. But no, he's not in that elite conversation for me right now.
And they held him to what? How many in regulation?
The Chargers?
Yeah.
16.
So they should be. We'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right that they hurt themselves for sure.
Right.
Didn't
right.
make it any easier. That's a guarantee.
Right. KW7 says, so great to have you guys back. What do you think the biggest issue has been with Cortland Sutton? He went from averaging 83 yards and 6 receptions a game to 16 yards on 1 reception over the last 3. He doesn't seem to be injured, and it's a crazy drop-off. Do you think this is a statement game for the offense if we can score more than 20 points, 17 in regulation, that KC put up against this Titans defense? I don't think
No.
it's necessarily going to be comparing it to that. It's going to be then 2 games that the Broncos have scored 20 points back-to-back games.
There's no statement where you score 20 points. Got to score 30 for me to even enter the statement realm.
You're feeling a little consistency, though.
sure, you're saying we've taken a step forward.
Back-to-back 20-point
And
games.
Yeah.
We're on to something.
If it's 23 or 24-point games, then we're saying that's what the Broncos need to win the rest of the way.
But
True.
it's not a statement.
It's not a statement, though.
yeah, it wouldn't be a statement.
Well,
No.
It's
It's
a
consistency.
I guess the definition of what a statement is. To me, a statement is
Exactly.
like NFL teams around the league are like, did the Broncos figure something
Oh,
out?
well, certainly not. No.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's like statement feels like a big confident, like, look what they just did.
Yeah.
Whereas though, like when you're averaging 15 points a game, if you go out and put 24 up, it's like, hey, maybe they're not what we thought. They're
That's
still
a step
bad, but
in the
not
right
what we thought.
direction
Yes,
game.
not a statement.
That's not taking. You're right. It's not opening anyone's eyes.
Right.
The Broncos are saying, "Open your eyes, NFL."
They're like, we scored 20 points. And everyone's like, cool.
Everyone's like, golf clap.
Arvada
overtime
Luke
to do
says, welcome back, team. The London game and subsequent bye has, in my opinion, really reinvigorated the positivity around these parts. And the abroad DNVR pods were absolute gold. Love to
Yes.
hear it. Did Hackett have his Ted Lasso moment, or the rest of the season tell that story? The answer to both of those things could be yes.
Definitely more time. You need more time.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Any chance Fish and Chips makes the DNVR bar menu, thereby solidifying the storied London trip into the history books?
If we had fish and chips, I would eat that once a week.
I just like.
Wow.
But
what
it
if
has to be
wasn't
done right.
good?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it usually is.
I
Like I feel
just-
like it's where you have bad fish
In-
and chips.
in-
They-
Instead
if
of
they're
trying
too
to-
fried,
The first time I ever
they're like-
had food poisoning in my life was from Fish and Chips.
Really?
Worst food poisoning
Oh,
I've ever had.
yikes.
Too.
Huh.
Instead of trying to make, you're not really selling this on the bar right now.
Well, there's
instead of
concern.
trying to make it good, like great, like they do in London, just do it where it's gonna catch everyone's eyes. Just do the big piece of fish.
Yeah.
We did have it, I think, in one
Here?
iteration of the menu here, and I'd never even ordered it once.
Oh,
Oh, I
But I
don't
just,
think
like I said,
so.
I'm not a fish and chips guy.
It's true.
And that's why I was so impressed by how good it was in London.
It's just such a like easy thing to. It's like a burger. It's like, oh, what do you want? Oh, yeah, that's easy. I know what a burger is.
That's
like,
true.
you just get,
Yeah.
just like, it'd just be a
need
part of the
chicken
rotation.
tenders
I honestly
first.
think that food poisoning incident I had when I was like 9 years old, I still have the Garcia effect going.
Oh, clearly,
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just brought it up right now, so definitely.
Right. It's never
Yeah.
left my mind.
Weird.
I think I probably weighed like 60 pounds when I started, and I weighed like 45 when I finished.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
And last one
Wow.
coming in from Ride Mystery says, so good to have you all back in the studio. I tried to log in to comment, and apparently I left my account expired. Needless to say, I
Aw.
resubscribed
Yay.
once more.
Let's
go.
You got me.
We got him.
Ryan,
Here,
your
hold
trip
on.
to Belgium sounds amazing. In Bruges is one of my all-time favorite movies, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Two hapless hitmen hide out and sightsee. And wait, well, I don't want to give it away.
Yeah,
to anyone that hasn't
don't
seen
give it away.
it.
I will say this: we watched In Bruges.
in Bruges.
In Bruges,
Hey, that is pretty
Oh.
cool.
And
he
it was
says, glad to have
very
you guys back on the pod.
strange.
really weird movie. Without giving anything away,
Yeah.
I feel like the entire movie is setting up like a punchline in the final scene that's like kind of funny,
It's
but not
just
that
such
funny.
a
So is it a
strange
comedy?
movie.
It's a dark comedy.
Yes, dark comedy.
Okay.
Very dark.
But
I
wait,
would
wait
say.
for getting
Jeez.
him.
We got him.
Oh, we got him.
But yes, we figured out a way to watch it there, and then I said to Benjamin the next morning, I'm like, "Oh, we watched the movie last night," and he's like, "Oh, yes, we don't care for that movie here."
Yeah, I bet.
So yeah, but it does look pretty in the movie, just like it is in real life.
Yeah. I'm
From-
jealous.
From Briz Baby, hey dudes, one of
Oh,
my
we have
favorite
another.
things about my time in Canada is hearing people try and fail an Australian accent. But I must applaud you guys for pronouncing offense with a C. I always crack up at Zach's attempts to speak with some Aussie twang. This brings me to my question. A bit of a silly one today, but what was your favorite British slang that you picked up in London? Hopefully I can teach you guys some Aussie slang soon. Cheers, guys. Briz Baby.
Ryan has like 100 that
Oh,
he
they're
continues
all
to
You're
so
gonna have
good.
to carry us. I forgot already.
Honestly, the one that is, I don't even know if it's necessarily slang. It's just like part of the vernacular. Is just saying surely.
I knew that was the one.
That
It's
There was
so-
a small
that is
chance it was
true.
gonna be proper. I thought that.
proper.
9 out of 10 questions Allie asked me, I just respond surely.
Yep.
Oh,
Or
God.
anyone would ask you.
How you
Yeah.
doing, Allie?
But I'm still doing this.
Yes, he literally. Zach, when we were in London, you asked me, "Are you going to get pissed tonight?"
Oh yes.
Yep.
Drunk. It's still. It doesn't sound right
it
when you
sounds
say
weird.
it.
I was
still.
like, I'm not mad. What do you
Oh,
mean?
you have to say it with an accent, and then it sounds right.
Oh, you gonna get pissed tonight?
That's a
That
great
was
accent.
more
accent.
Aussie, honestly.
Did I-
Yeah.
I
Those
didn't
were
hit it?
Aussie.
Wow.
Dang.
Those
Um,
were Aussie.
Yeah, chuffed to bits is a good one.
Ah.
What does that mean?
It means just like happy.
I would have
What?
thought the
Why not
exact
just say
opposite.
happy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? That's what slang is for.
But
Saying
I
something
don't
different
know.
than what the
I
normal
feel like it
thing
should
is.
be easy. Like you don't go from happy to chuffed to bits. Like that just takes so
Right.
long.
Chuff to bits sounds like you're riled up.
Yeah.
Does.
What were some other ones I was saying a lot?
I don't know. It's just surely,
Surely.
and proper.
Oh, proper.
That's,
That's a
what-
great
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a proper slang. All right.
Henry, do you have one?
Surely.
Nah.
Nah.
He ruined them.
Wow.
Oh.
Ryan ruined London.
That
And for a
sucks.
second straight day, we're ending the pod with tension.
We have one more.
Oh, we have what? Where are these coming
Yeah.
from?
It's
Let's
for a
not miss
comeback.
them.
Peyton Manning YT says, my boys, relating to the Broncos' possible playoff run, I think that this Titans game is not just a must-win, but a must-correct. This can't be a 16-10 win. This win needs to show some confidence in our offense and some points. I'm looking for the quick passing game, i.e. slants to Judy, flats to Dulcich, and counter the Titans' D-line. What do you guys think is the offensive formula for beating the Titans? Also, here in New England, patch and catch, in fact, do rhyme.
Pat and catch.
Take the atch and patch and say catch the same way.
What in
I like
the world?
patch and catch better.
Wait, who was that from?
That was from Peyton Manning YT,
Oh,
and he
Pey-
said, I said NE. I assume that's New England. Could be Nebraska.
It's got to be New England.
Could be
It's
Northern
got- based
England.
on the comment.
Wow,
It
could,
could
be
be
Northern
Northern
England.
England.
Wow.
But they would say the north
That's
of
just
England.
Scotland.
Peyton Manning YT, love ya, but no. People are forgetting that this Tennessee Titans team is a legitimately good team. Great, no. Superstar, elite, no. But they're a playoff team. They're
Just
going
win.
to make the playoffs. Yes, this is not like beat them in and put up 30
They're not the
points
Raiders.
and hold them to 10. This is a good team. Just win. Absolutely run away with that. Now, if the Broncos then beat the Raiders after beating the Titans, then they're on a 3-game win streak, and then you're going into to Carolina to play the Panthers, maybe then you can start saying that about the Panthers. But Tennessee Titans are 5-3. They're overtime away from beating the Chiefs in Kansas City with a backup quarterback who threw for 30% completion. They're a good team.
Yeah. That quarterback that I liked in the offseason almost beat Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
What do you think of him now?
5 of 16, baby.
Wow.
Yeah. This is honestly, I don't even care about any style points. Like, if you can just keep beating teams that way, if you can actually find a way to do it consistently, that just might be the way that you win games this year.
Yep. To me, style points are dead until the Broncos are officially out of the playoffs. When they're sitting there at like 3-8, then that's time for me to be like, hey, yeah, just go put up 30 or something because
Right.
we need something to build off of.
Boy, I go the other way.
Oh, really?
I
No,
go-
because if you just win, you're still alive.
Yeah, yeah. But
You just
then
gotta
once you really start winning, I'm like, okay, let's see some style points now. I don't want to see
the
style
2015
points when they're
team-
out of it.
The 2015 team got style points like once. It was
Yeah.
against the Packers.
Yep, that's very true.
So style points don't count for anything. But you have to find a way to consistently win like that team did.
And also, the Broncos aren't going to open everyone's eyes across the country by beating the Titans and going to 4-5. You know, they're still going to be 4-5.
4-5 sounds like a warm blanket and a hot cocoa on a cold day to me right now. Like that sounds
Wow.
like
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say just a nice doo-doo right on top of the
no.
blanket.
3-5 is a terrible place to be. 4-5, not.
You're close to
you
500.
Yeah, you
You're basically 500.
can work with that.
Boy, you sound like you've been living in a world of suck the
Well,
past
guess what?
half a decade.
I absolutely have. All right. Well, let's get out of here on that note. Appreciate everyone for playing along today.
Stay tuned for bets.
Stay tuned. Yes, DNVR Bets Daily going live shortly after this.
Oh, God.
Surely.
I know. If you just add an R in there, you can say shortly.
Wow.
Anyways, we will catch you guys tomorrow.